Ministry Youth Affairs and Sports, Hello India, LNCP, and on behalf of respected Dr. G. Kishore sir, Principal, I welcome you all for this session. In this session, respected Principal sir is a panelist and he is a keen observer of each session. I welcome you, sir, for this session. Today we have a special speaker, Dr. Ram Mohan Singh, our Assistant Professor, Department of Physical Education and Sports, Pondicherry University. About him, sir is a passionate physical educational professional. About his academics, sir is a PhD holder from Bharatiya University, diploma in coaching in cricket, diploma in yoga, and in experience wise 9 years as an assistant professor, 4 years as a director of a physical education, and he is a technical consultant for cricket academies in Dubai. Sir has presented number of national and international research papers, and for his credit there are 4 PhD holders and 4 MPhil holders. So on behalf of Ministry Youth Affairs and Sports, Hello India, LNCP, once again, on behalf of respected Dr. G. Kishore, Principal sir, I welcome you for this session, sir. Now,
thank you.
Now I request participant to pay attention. So our respected Dr. Ram Mohan Singh sir will give his expert opinion on this present topic. Over to Dr. R. Mohan Singh sir.
Thank you very much, sir, Sanjay sir, for this gracious introduction. First, I would like to thank Principal of LNCP Trivandrum, Dr. Kishore. I'd like to also convey my thanks to Usha ma'am, Sujit sir, and Sanjeev sir for support and encouragement for this webinar. So let me start with the presentation. Let me share the screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So good afternoon to all the participants. So very nice to have the afternoon session after good lunch. So I hope everybody has some good message to carry from the afternoon session as well. So today we are going to have a small sharing on community coaching roles and responsibilities of a coach. Basically, these are the outcomes we are trying to learn. The 6 outcomes are what we are going to discuss in details during this webinar. Let me start briefly by telling how a coach is engaged in development of sports and how community coaching comes into play in today's scenario. So generally, we can say a coach is someone who is working hard to develop the standard of a specific sport performance. So as a coach, he is a very, very specialized person engaged in development and encouraging people to take up that sport. I think in the morning session, as physical education teachers and as coaches, we wanted to have our roles well known. So just adding to it, I could say that in physical education, the work schedule is broad based. They attend to maximum number of students taking part in a wide-ranging physical activity. But coaching becomes kind of a specialized activity focused on one game. Then how is it that community coaching has come into play? I know Sports Authority of India has various programs for coaches to deliver in specialized centers, specialized skill, center of excellences and all that. But of late, this system of community coaching has taken shape, where the main cause for such a stand has been that the ability of the coaches to transform, how much of value a coach can add or make a change in somebody's life. So this has become a critical factor, and our government and the authorities have realized that through coaches we can get the desired transformation. So how is it going to work in community? So we know that India is a vast country and the communities are distributed and having their own uniqueness all over. So by having a specialized center, we are not able to deliver to all the needs or different needs of different regions. So that is how community coaching has come into play, where the uniqueness or the need of that local region can be identified and then coached on. Another big added advantage of having a community coaching system is that it doesn't only cater to the talented students or talented players. So based on the game situation, it is targeting the junior players, it is targeting the professional players, it is targeting the stakeholders such as the parents, such as the aged people. All in all, whatever is desired by the community to make a positive change, the community coaching is able to deliver. So that is how, even though my specialization or a coach's work would be to specialize or encourage certain games, the coaching also can be done based on the community needs, right? So now let us say, for example, a place where football is very popular, I am posted as a cricket coach. So how can I deliver for a game that I am not having so much knowledge in? So that is where a coach's role as a networker comes into play. I definitely know of many coaches who are good in football and who will be able to deliver. So I am very much comfortable and free to engage people who are specialized in that sport to come as a community coach and help me. So that's the easiest part of having a coach with good network. As and what the community needs, he can get his from his network, he can get a proper appropriate person to deliver and see that the community is changing in the right spirit and prospect. So this basically is how a community coach functions. Now moving on, we'll target from the beginning stage, from the junior stage, how the development phase in the coaching system works, right? So initially, we have experienced coaches who, when a trainee comes to the first day, they are asked to do a lot of workload. It's like a ragadai, right? So even I have an experience in NIS. When we joined for the first few months, the training used to be so high, so intense. Right, so same way, this attitude is rubbed on in many coaches also, where when some new person, new trainee, budding youngster comes, the first test is to see his fitness level to the extreme. Poor fellow, after going through all that in the first day, he never comes back. So this type of system, starting system, may not always work in today's platform. So whenever a trainee or a player comes to a coach, it is more important that we make him appreciate our game, make him love our game, make him come again and again to take happy memories back from the game. So this, as a coach working at the grassroots level to kindle the interest of players, becomes very very crucial. बहुत जरूरी है कि हम जो बच्चा हमें आता है, हमें मिलने हमें शुरुआत में आता है, उसका इंटरेस्ट बरकरार रखना है और उसको बार बार आने के लिए प्रोहित करना है. We have to encourage. It is in our hands. We can push people from not coming, we can encourage people from coming again and again. This is completely on us. पूरा का पूरा हमारे ऊपर निर्भर है कि हम कैसे किसी स्पोर्ट को किसी बच्चे के साथ encourage courage, right? So once he gains a level of mastery, we introduce the skills to him, the basic skills which are required to become a better exponent of the game. We are slowly beginning to teach the train. So now he is willing to take little bit of hardship, and he is also ready to understand the trust factor between the coach and the student is also developing at this point of time. So when you give hard work, he's ready to take, because he sees a future. He has connected his dream to yours. So he is seeing a path of progress once the initial connection has been established. So then he is able to take more to reach higher levels. Once he has gained the basic skills, then you will make him play among his peers at the same level of players like him. It might be a competition or it might be a recreation. There he learns how to apply the skill in a practical situation. There he learns how to interact with fellow players. He develops leadership qualities. He develops decision making. The application of the basic skill learned teaches him further as to how he has to progress. So all this is making an impact on the player, through which he sees desirable change. What he has not done before, he is able to execute it. He is able to make runs when he is playing cricket. He is able to score goals if he is playing football. So all these things adds on to his encouragement and enthusiasm to learn more. And this takes him to the next level of training for higher performance or competitive performance. The passion for the game takes up a very serious change, where he looks at even making a career out of that sport. He is able to professionally excel, perform, and look at his peak performance arriving soon. And in the due process of time, he also able to reach his best performance level, whichever it could be. It could be an international level, or it could be a national level, even at the university or state level. Whatever has been his capacity, a coach, when he encourages and continuously drives the passion in him, he will take up that sport for life. Whatever level he reaches, it doesn't matter. Our job primarily to see that the passion for that game never dies in him, and there is always a spirit, and there is always a physical and health-wise necessity for him to stay associated with the game. So that is one part. And it could also happen that we have produced players of international caliber, national caliber, and they further compete and they give back to the sport, and they serve as a role model. They serve as an inspiration for many others to take up the sport. So there is work for a coach in two channels: one towards professional excellence for people who are seeking to be one, others who have not made it thus far. At least they are playing or engaged with the game till their life, and they contribute in whatever way possible. So this is general phase in the development of coaching process. And next we move on to the scope, right? The scope here in community coaching can be all encompassing, wherever we can purposefully engage the community in reaching its goals, what it has set for itself, how they can become healthier, how they can be passionate towards a sport, how they can engage more and more people into a sports field or a sports arena. All that responsibility will fall on the community coach. He can access anybody, any person for that engagement and purposeful and meaningful engagement through a sport identified by that community to develop. Okay, so many factors are there which helps in the success of this community coaching, like mentoring, teaching, mental training, physical training. The whole lot of it is there. So all these play a part in equipping the community coach for the better, and in turn the community benefits. The community is able to give back more. The coach himself is able to develop. So all this works in a two-way relationship, where the benefit of the coach development is passed on to the community, and the community development in turn makes the coach a better role model, and more people start playing the sport. More and more people get involved in the sports activity, not necessarily playing, even in organizing, even in arranging for logistics, even for medical support, whichever way possible. When the community is wholesomely engaged in any kind of sports activity or physical activity as such, that becomes a big change maker in that region, in that society, in that community. And ultimately, as an end product, we want the society to be reflecting as best, rather than just medals. The whole community, whole society, along with the medal winners, along with the top sports performance, is able to transform many lives. And that entirely falls in the scope of a coaching, of a community coach. So then how does this work? How can a community coach bring about this change, right? So everything is not defined and everything doesn't fall at one point of time. It has to be taken one step at a time, slowly, with the minimum number of people, identify what is good for that community there, and encouraging it. Certain sport might be popular in certain areas. It makes sense to start up with that sport, not necessarily playing the game. It could just be a part of the game as a skill and fun-based activity started in a community where people can come and freely participate. Children can be encouraged and they will have a lot of fun doing that activity. So once this type of participation and something that gives confidence to everybody to be actively involved, right? So even when you see a typical situation in a school, in most of the schools, I should say, in a PT period, if there is a football or if there is a volleyball, of a class of 50-60 students, we see about 10-12 of them who are interested in football or interested in volleyball play that game, when majority of the 30-40 students are doing nothing. So they are just watching or either clapping or enjoying the game. So do we want this? As a physical education person, we want maximum number of students to participate in the activity. And similar ideal, where more people can have the confidence to participate in a game-based activity in a community, should be encouraged. Therefore, instead of having a full-fledged competitive game, it could be a fun game of selected skills in that in a selected game. So thereby more people will come. Once it reaches out to the masses, then slowly we'll bring in more and more activity. So when we target a community and more people are engaged in physical activities, their energies, their force, especially of the youth, where in India more number of youth are there and their energy is more or less unspent, they are able to exert, they are able to enjoy, they are able to gain benefit out of participating in this kind of meaningful community sports activities. And once they get streamlined, once they feel involved in the development and as a people responsible to the community, automatically their contribution to improve the life of each one of them is also is also impacted. So we start helping each other, we start enjoying the company of each other, we start supporting each other, and this is reflecting on the quality of life that is existing in the community. People are starting to laugh. People are starting to ignore the small mistakes. People are covering up their errors and projecting their strengths. People are supportive and encouraging and clapping and having meaningful association as a group. That automatically it transforms into a better quality of life. And as the development occurs, right, we have different people in different walks of life. Somebody has to go and work early in the morning, somebody has to work during the day, somebody has to work in the evenings, somebody late at night. So we have different types of people living in a community, and therefore we have to have an arrangement where everybody's needs are satisfied. So if there is no infrastructure that caters to people from different walks of life, then that becomes a question mark. So when quality of life has increased, and the need to satisfy the people from across the walks of life, the whole walks of life also is made also impacted, and thereby there are infrastructure developments happening for somebody who can play in the morning, for somebody who can play during the day, for somebody who can play in the evening and also in the night. Therefore, this caters to more and more sports infrastructure development in the community. People are also innovating, people are resourceful. We started with one aspect, and so many other developments are happening as a variation to the main activity. And when this type of overall sports development is happening, the talent in sports are also identified. The talent gets a chance, an opportunity to utilize the infrastructure and thereby get better development, to get the better happiness, better enjoyment, better aspects to take back and give it back to the society. So it works like a chain, and the complete sports talent is also developed. So ultimately what happens, all this results in a very good sports culture development. When culture is integrated into a junior or a young boy, as he grows participating in sports continuously till he reaches his adulthood, it becomes some kind of a culture. He presents the same to his next generation, and the next generation does it so, and it goes on like that. So over a period of time, the entire sports culture is developed in the community, and this results in complete transformation of that community. Then we can look at the values, right? How a community coach is able to function, or what he is expected to do in the community. So when he is involved in community coaching, so there should be consideration to the following values. First thing is, he has to engage the participants who are coming in a very active manner by giving good opportunities. Again, use diversification. Initially, there is no need to specialize. Use a diversified activities to engage everybody. We can conduct the same activity making small groups. Instead of asking people to wait for a chance, 2-3 small groups can do the same activity. As a coach, we can supervise. So this will ensure involvement and participation of everybody who has come to the community coaching center. Then we have to remember the gender respect, right? How we are going to ensure the people who are coming, the stakeholders will not only be the participants or athletes. They can be senior people, they can be wives, they can be middle-aged people. So we are going to get a wide range of people in community coaching, and we should have the respect for humanity as well as gender. Then even it is not only as a coach, we would also like to have this respect taking place among the participants, and there are no unnecessary quarrels and disturbances when they are practicing in groups. So that as a coach, we can ensure these values are there, that makes the people to support each other, enjoy each other's company, and develop with each other's support. Just like how education has become student-centric today, the coaching also has become athlete-centric. There was a time when whatever the coach said, that used to be like a gospel and it had to be blindly followed. Today, the students the players are having good knowledge of what they have to do and how they have to do. So now the system has slightly changed to more cooperative approach. The coach has his value and the athlete also is having good knowledge. So both these things come together in a mutually cooperative way, and therefore the coaching system also has become more player or athlete centric now. So it is very important for us to know what the player wants, where he wants to go, build a dream alongside the dream of the player, and then go forward. Next thing is for a coach to be very fair and consistent. It's very what to say, very difficult prospect for a coach, especially when he's dealing with all the team members or all the players who have come, to treat everybody equally. But what he can promise is he can be fair to everybody, right? So each and every player has a different personality. Therefore, there cannot be one rule that applies for everyone in the same way. But whatever is required for the development of the game, for keeping the interest in the game, he has to deal with all the players who come to him in a fair, consistent manner. So we have to remember these 5 values: engage with the participants actively, gender respect between the coach and the participants, gender respect among the participants, program to be athlete centric, and also be fair and consistent in the way you deal with it. Right, so now let's move on to the function, right? So how a community coach is to function in a community coaching atmosphere. This is like the 9 pillars, but it is much more than 9 pillars, I can tell you, based on our experiences, simply because the coach is made a reason for everything that is happening. The coach has to know about marking, the coach has to know about the techniques, coach has to know man management, coach has to respect the law, coach has to be an example for everything, coach has to encourage if the player is demoralized. Coach cannot show any emotions even if he is unfairly treated and unfairly suffering. So all these things put tremendous pressure on a coach to perform even when the situation is not as good as he wants, right? So some points are highlighted in this 9 pillars. So first thing is technical. So as coaching is a specialized job, you have to be technically well equipped to deal with that game. Suppose you are a cricket coach, know everything about cricket. You are a football coach, know everything from skills to laws to regulations that is governing that specific game. Then the competition management, where you might have to be conducting different competitions for different kinds of people. For a beginner, what type of competition you are conducting and how you are preparing your players for it. For a inter-school level, how you are preparing and what kind of competition you are doing. Inter-college, inter-university, state, national, international. Each and every competition has different training methods, different prospects for the player, and different method of preparation. So as a coach, you need to deliver in how you are going to make your player perform well, do well in each and every level or stage of competition. Once he is matured into a good player, then the tactical part comes in. So you can introduce the strategies and the planning and how he can improve upon his already mastered skills so that his performance can be at the peak when his form also and the tournament also is required for him to perform at his best. Well, then planning. Without planning, nothing is going to work out for us. We have to be well planned and each and every stage be prepared for surprises. As a coach, we have to do a lot of planning, still be ready for something that can happen what we have not planned for, right? From training schedules to competition preparation, to ensure that the kits are there, to ensure that the training aids are there, to ensure that there is proper medical facilities, proper safety. All these prerogatives come only if we are able to plan our activities well. And as you know, coaching is not a 1 day or 2 day affair. It is a lifelong process. You have to spend years and years in making an athlete reach to his top potential. So obviously there has to be consistent, continuous, scientific, well-programmed planning at every point of time. Then, of course, we come to the physical part. In the physical part, we have some help in terms of a trainer, in terms of physio in current coaching scenario, where we can delegate some authority or some of our coaching load to the trainers to take care of the physical fitness part. But it makes a lot of sense that we be aware of it, because at the grassroots level, we might be the only person who has to deal with if all these physical fitness components as well as the specific components. Maybe at the state, university, and the national level, you get different people, as you have a coaching team, whole bunch of team that takes care of coaching. But at the grassroots level, you are the jack of all, or now in this case, you have to be king of all in dealing with the community coaching aspect. Social relationship, there are two social relationships here. One social relationship indicates your relationship with the athlete. Another social relationship, your relationship with all other stakeholders, right? Your bonding with the athlete is in a completely different level. That is very, 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 very close association, and it is almost like he is your own extension of a part. The athlete or a trainee is so closely linked to you, and the way you deal with all other stakeholders will depend on how smoothly you are able to run your coaching programs. Another place where we cannot go deep is the medical care. We can take care of prevention and precaution. So these are the important factors where we should be focusing. We can leave the curing and treatment to other people who are specialized, but it makes sense to have qualified people with us in coaching during emergencies. We can always depend on them. Then we have the mental aspect. This is one more critical aspect which, as coaches, we have to work very hard on, because it is very easy for us coaches to motivate positive performance. Keep playing, keep doing, ye kar le, wo kar sakta, ye kar sakta. It's very easy for us to push, but it is 100% sure that every time we motivate, the athlete or player is not going to have success. He will have failures as a part of the coaching program, as a part of in his career. He will face failures thousands of times. How are we going to make our athlete prepared for it? We don't train, hey, fail ho jayega, sambhal ke rehna. We don't do. We are simply looking at the positive part. Kar lega, ho jayega, kar lega, ho jayega. This is what goes on through our entire coaching. But what goes on in the player's mind when he fails, right? We have to deal with that also. It's a very important part of our coaching process to make him prepared for failure and then overcome it. Failure, accept failure, overcome it. So this again plays a very critical role in coaching strategies today, particularly at the grassroots level, because people at the grassroots, it is very easy for them to quit. So if he is facing continuous failure, if we are not encouraging him or supporting or backing him up when he is failing, he can be mentally disintegrated. First thing he will do is quit the sport and go. So that situation, we should not let it happen. So from the beginning itself, we say winning and losing is part of sport. How do we become a better sportsman? How do we develop a character of a sportsman? When we fight at the defeat, right? How we help him manage the defeat and then convert it to victory in future. So that is how we have to pay attention to the mental aspect also. Right. So now looking at some responsibilities of coaches, there's a huge list of responsibilities for all the small pleasure of winning that we want our students or our players to go through. The coach has to bear huge responsibilities. The many such responsibilities are there. We'll quickly go through it one after the other. कोच को जितना खुशी मिलता है अपना प्लेयर को मेडल जीतता है, विन करता है, तो पर वो एक खुशी, थोड़ा सा जो खुशी है, वो खुशी के लिए उसको बहुत सारा सैक्रिफाइस करना पड़ता है, बहुत सारी जिम्मेदारियां उसको लेनी पड़ती है। और ऐसे ही बहुत सारे रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज यहाँ पे है, तो उसमें से हम एक एक करके देखते जाएंगे, थोड़ा जल्दी करते जाएंगे। तो फर्स्ट थिंग, अगेन इट इज एम्फसाइज्ड, technique of sport. So whichever sport you're specializing in, make sure you're technically good. Need based training schedule. कोई छोटा बच्चा रहेगा, थोड़ा एडवांस प्लेयर रहेगा, इंटरमीडिएट प्लेयर रहेगा, इलाइट प्लेयर रहेगा, तो जो जैसा है उसके हिसाब से अपना ट्रेनिंग शेड्यूल्स बनाए। प्रिपेयर ट्रेनिंग शेड्यूल बेस्ड ऑन द कैपेसिटी लेवल एंड इवन ड्यूरेशन। समटाइम्स competitions are continuously held in the year, sometimes competitions are very minimal and at a specific period, so need based training schedules are also important. And to take assessment, periodic assessments of what is going on and how the training schedule is happening, you need to conduct skill and fitness drills, so that will give you how a player is progressing. Once you have a periodic assessment done, you will not deviate from the path. In case there is something going wrong, you will be able to stop it quickly and make necessary corrections. The preparing questionnaire assessments, this is part of the research programs which are now being introduced by SAI. So along with your coaching assignments, you need to also research on finding out what is going through the athletes, or what the athletes would like to see as a change that is happening in our training program. So questionnaires can be a very good method in assessing what state of mind or what state of level the trainee is. So we can periodically give questionnaires to make that assessment. Also, a coach's responsibility would be to see the outfit, especially in conditions in India where a lot of compromises are done at the cost of giving harm or harming our body. So as a coach, we have to ensure quality outfits and quality products are used so that injury and other difficulties are not faced by the players. Very important to conduct lead-up activities, warm up and warm down. This is a part of each and every training session which a coach should remember, and this is a part of a prevention and precaution from injury. So instead of treating the after effects, try to prevent and be precautious beforehand, so that you don't reach to the level of injury at all. And then coaching techniques and strategies as per the training plan, again, it needs no explanation. According to the situation, you have to mold or change your coaching techniques and coaching strategies. Especially you can apply now in COVID times. How are you going to coach? How are you going to teach the technique? How are you going to ensure that the players are practicing what is required? So we as a cricket coach, what we do is we have made a WhatsApp group in which we share the drills that is supposed to be practiced, and we cross-check by asking the player to post the video of the drills, practice of them practicing the drills. So even during COVID times, we share what is required to be done, and we also are able to get feedback by having the videos of the players back to us, and then again giving their correction points. Fitness, we have our trainer also engages the athletes in the fitness training programs. He has prepared a chart, and the athletes have to fill the charts and he reviews it. So these kind of situations are created by nature, and we have no other choice. We have to be adaptable and know how to deal with situations like this. Also inform the participants of individual and session goals. This is also important. Today, players and athletes, they want to be aware of what they are doing. For example, in cricket, when we have net sessions, we have a chart, or we have a board where it is mentioned who are the players who will be batting, who are the players who will be bowling, who are the players will be tasked with different activities. So when they come for the session itself, they know very clearly what is expected and what each and every person's role is. So these kind of the prior intimation, prior information, or in the training strategies, it will help a player to cope with the training load better. And finally, you can do a brief summarization of how the training session was and get the feedback, so that in case any correction is required, that can be done. So why is it that every session there has to be a summarization? Because though the player is the same every day, his mindset on physical makeup could be changing day by day. There could be some reason why he is not able to perform well, or someday he is able to exceedingly perform well. So these issues, what is going on in the player in day-to-day activities, it is possible only by having this kind of summarization sessions. So if we just say, okay, session is over, you can go, he goes off, the next day he comes, trains, and he goes off, there is always going to be a disconnect. We don't know the real impact of the coaching session, what mindset he is coming in, how much of effort he is put in, what he likes, what he doesn't like. All these things we will not know if you don't have this summarization session. So 5-10 minutes after each and every training session, the summarization will help you to plan your training program in a much better way. और लास्ट जो सेशन के आखिरी में 5-10 मिनट आप समराइजेशन के रखेंगे, वो आपको अंदाजा देगा कि अगले सेशन में आप क्या क्या अच्छी तरह से कर सकते हैं, आपके प्लेयर को क्या अच्छा लगता है, क्या अच्छा नहीं लगता है, उसको क्या क्या डिफिकल्टीज हो सकता है, वो सब स्ट्रेट अवे फर्स्ट हैंड जानने का मौका ये समराइजेशन में रहेगा. सो दैट विल ओनली हेल्प यू इंक्रीज द क्वालिटी ऑफ योर training program. See, other responsibilities of the coach varies from the availability. Sports है कि जो ट्रेनिंग के लिए चाहिए. हालांकि आजकल ऐसा जमाना है कि स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन अगर उसको एक्टिवली स्पोर्ट्स में इन्वॉल्व होना है तो वो खुद सारे इक्विपमेंट्स अपना रखता है. Today there is nothing like before where there used to be one kit which the entire team used to share or things like that. So today things have become very professional and each and every player have their own kits. But what is available, a coach can just ensure and inquire. The safety, this is a very important aspect as coaches, especially community coaches. We should not encourage activities where safety is compromised. अगर आपको लगता है कि कोई एक्टिविटी सेफ्टी का रिस्क है तो वो एक्टिविटी मत कीजिए. Plan something else that is safe. Don't take any risk. For example, अगर हाई जंप, आपको हाई जंप सिखाना है, आपको मैट नहीं है या कुछ प्रॉपर लैंडिंग प्लेस नहीं, हाई जंप का इवन फॉर लॉन्ग जंप, ठीक है, तो उसके लिए अगर प्रॉपर लैंडिंग सरफेस नहीं है जिससे प्लेयर को इंजरी हो सकती है तो बेटर नॉट डू लॉन्ग जंप. और कुछ पर्पसफुली कर सकते हो rather than taking risk. Yeah, so if you compare with games, suppose cricket coaching dena hai, cricket ball is very hard. So if with the hard ball, if you want to teach some basics to players, it might be difficult. So there the safety is compromised. So you better not use the cricket ball, use some other soft object in place of cricket ball to teach the same thing. It really doesn't matter, but the safety part should always be taken care of. So this is some example where the coach needs to pay attention to. See that the ground markings, court markings of all the sports are done well in advance. If अगर आपका planning अच्छा है तो ये सब अपने आप होता रहेगा, आपको इसकी ज़्यादा फिक्र करने की जरूरत नहीं है. तो everything is taken care of well in advance, so you don't have to have last minute surprises. Maintenance of play space and sports equipment. The playground is our temple. If coaches, as coaches, हम लोग अपना मंदिर का संभालेंगे नहीं, मंदिर का ख्याल नहीं रखेंगे, तो we will not be able to give the best place for our players to perform. The player who is coming to the ground has to enjoy it so much that he doesn't want to go back home. So he wants to come again and again.
8,300 लोग, तो मेरे को इतने सारे क्यों दे दिए? मतलब कि सारे लोगों को भेजना है क्या?
सुजीत सर, एनीथिंग?
8,300 लोगों का दे दिया मेरे को. जितना उतना देते हैं
सुजीत सर,
सभी का हो गया।
Sir, mute your
क्या क्या भेजूं मैं?
mute, sir.
सुजीत सर,
कैसे भेजूंगा मैसेज बताओ ना सही। ये तो सब
Sujit sir, please mute.
नहीं, सब कुछ तो लिखा हुआ है उसमें। शिफ्टेड में मुझे कैसे पता करूंगा कि पहला इक्वल टू
please
सेकंड
mute.
है? जितना चाहिए तो उतना ही देना चाहिए।
सुजीत सर प्लीज।
ये तो सब कुछ लिखा हुआ है ना उसमें, मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा कौन सा चेंज शॉर्टर?
Sir, please mute.
जितना है यार,
सुजीत सर,
5,000 का थोड़ी है ये तो। 8,300 का लिस्ट।
ओके, थैंक यू, थैंक यू। ओके, लेट अस प्रोसीड। सॉरी फॉर द डिस्टर्बेंस। हो जाता है। फिर नेक्स्ट वी मूव ऑन टू having a support group. जैसे first also we had initially also I have told, we can't be master of everything, right? Even though at the grassroots level we have to deal with most of the things alone. Always as a coach look to build a team. We will have talented people in our group as players, as parents, as the stakeholders, those who are coming to the ground regularly. We can definitely find some kind of utility in engaging them. So don't think मैं ही coach हूँ, मैं ही सब कुछ करूँगा, मैं ही सब संभालूंगा और कुछ यहाँ पे कोई कर ही नहीं सकता है. Don't have this mindset. Keep a network, keep a group of people working with you, because it will, one thing is it will take the burden out of you. Another thing is they might actually have some innovative ideas from which you can learn. So engage your players, engage your stakeholders, engage the ground authorities in something they are good at. So that will always be helpful if you have a team working for the community cause, rather than you are only slogging out in each and every area. Then protection, the safety of the players, as well as safety of the people who are part of the community and coming to the ground. When you are playing a cricket match, there might be people who are walking around the ground. When you are playing a football match, there might be somebody who are having some recreation game in the side. So the safety concern of the entire people, entire community utilizing that ground has to be ensured. So wherever safety part is required, as coach you have to directly ensure that. And when you are dealing with the players, you can teach them, or you can use the words that is according to their age. बच्चे को जैसे सिखाते हैं वैसे एक 20-30 साल के प्लेयर को नहीं सिखा सकते. तो ये समझ लीजिए आप, और उसके हिसाब से उनके एज अप्रोप्रिएट, उनका उम्र कैसा है उसके हिसाब से you can address them and make your communication very clear. And curtail unacceptable behavior, which means unacceptable behavior, जो भी स्पोर्ट्समैन है, जो भी कायदे कानून है जिससे स्पोर्ट्स को बढ़ावा मिलता है, all those things we can treat as acceptable behavior. और जो स्पोर्ट्स को बाधा पहुंचाता है, जो स्पोर्ट्स की जिम्मेदारी को नष्ट करता है, जो स्पोर्ट्स की अच्छाई को नष्ट करता है, all those things have to be treated as unacceptable behavior. And as coach, you yourself has to be a role model and ensure this is not happening at any cost, at any level, right? So very, very important to curtail unnecessary or unacceptable behavior as a sports person. Keep checking safety. And आपको अगर बेसिक फर्स्ट एड, अब CPR है, कौन सा इंजरी हुआ है, क्रैम्प है, मसल पुल है, so many concussion है, these type of injuries, even when we take safety precautions, could occur. And when you have some idea on the first aid part कि क्या हुआ है और पहले first response कैसा होना चाहिए, ये जानकारी आपके पास है, if you are aware of it, then it would really be helpful. You can always have a first aid, you can always have a doctor, you can always have a physio who will again help you in this, right? So always when you have a network, this will also help. You don't need to worry about this. But if you don't have anyone, you should have some information, some good knowledge on first aid and first response procedures. Okay, so goal setting. Coaches का काम क्या होता है? They have to set goal for other people to achieve, right? So coach is achieving his goals by setting goals for others to achieve, and that is the primary satisfaction he gets. And the goals have to be smart, as given here. It has to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So how specific it should be means the target. Like if you are a player of a specific sport, if you have to progress in that goal, so it has to be specific to it. I want to become a state player, I want to become a university player, I have to score 10 hundreds in the day, I have to take 5 wickets, I have to score 10 goals this season. So very, very specific goals such as this has to be set, not only to your trainees. In the process of making your trainees achieve the goal, you yourself will be able to achieve a lot in the sports life. It should be measurable, that is, there should be some kind of a quantification to it. Quantification means, like I said, no, you scored 1,000 runs. If you can say, I have to score runs this season, but I have to score 1,000 runs this season, that becomes measurable, right? So I have to score centuries this season, but you are telling I have to score 5 centuries this season. I have to take 5 wickets in 10 matches. That becomes some kind of a measure which you can quantify. So the goals that you set should be measurable like this. Very important thing is to set goals that are achievable. Most of the sports person, when they come inside, क्या बनना है आपको? मुझे इंडिया खेलना है, मुझे ओलंपिक मेडल जीतना है, मुझे all are far-fetched, which cannot be achieved singly. It is not wrong to dream, but as a coach, you have to show the right path for them. So even though their dream is to play for India and get an Olympic medal, where it has to start as the first step, that should be your focus. Right? The goal is India, but objectives are series of 10, 15 objectives which will lead that athlete to be a medal winner for India. So achievable goals has to be set time and time again by the coach, so that the ultimate goal is achieved, that for the athlete, that of playing or representing the nation, right? Relevant. So it always pays to bring some kind of an emotional or some kind of a motivation that works for the athlete to perform well. So it may not always work that मैं coach के लिए कर रहा हूँ, मैं मेरे पिताजी के लिए कर रहा हूँ, मैं मेरे गांव के लिए कर रहा हूँ, मेरे टीम के लिए कर रहा हूँ. So it may not always work. So make something relevant or connected to the goal set. ये करो ऐसा लगेगा, ये करो ऐसा होएगा, ये करो ये मिलेगा. So these things and all can make the goal or the effort more worthwhile for the player. Ultimately, that is what we want. So we make it more happening by setting relevant goals. Another thing is timely. ये जो goal set, it has to have some kind of a time limit specified to it. You said 6 months to learn a skill, or 1 year to represent in a certain team, or say 1 year, 2 years, like this. There can be 3 months for developing strength, for 3 months develop. So you can set your goals in a time-bound manner to develop certain characteristics. These characteristics goes on to help making the athlete holistic. Like say in our case of community coaching, you can set yourself a time limit. Next 3 months, I am going to bring 100 people from the community to play in the ground for 1 hour. That could be a target for a community coaching. It may not have big achievements like playing for India or getting an Olympic medal. You can say from this school, out of the 800 students, only 100 students are playing some kind of sport. So my goal is to make this 100 to 500 in a year's time. That also is a big plus. You from 100 you have made it to 500. This 500 can become to 800, which is the maximum strength of the school. And this exactly is what community coaching is aiming at, bringing more and more people of the community into the field. It need not be only for sport, mind you. It is for health, it is for fitness, it is for pleasure. Any reason could be for them to take up a sport or a physical activity. Thereby, the community is also transformed, and the coach plays a very, very vital role in making this kind of change possible. So that is what is envisaged by goal setting related to community coaching. Yeah. So the requirements of a community coach. Again, sport specific skill. If you are specialized in cricket, if you are specialized in football, if you are specialized in volleyball, you can deal with it. But it is not necessary that you have to leave other sport if you don't know. That is where your power of networking comes. It is possible that you are a very avid football player, but the community where you are dealing, they like volleyball more than football. So it is not possible for a coach to force everybody to play. No, no, I know only football, so play football. It is not possible for us to force it. So what will you do at that time? It makes sense. Your network, there is somebody who can coach football. You can ask him for having sessions in football, sessions in volleyball, so that the community which is more interested in volleyball, they take pleasure, right? They start coming to the ground because they have been introduced to a game which they love, right? You both can have an understanding as a coach of football, as a coach of volleyball, to deliver in the community which is looking for that specific interest in the game. Even if you don't have such interest, you can engage people, learn from them as to how this community can be changed by taking up that specific sport or game. Some basic knowledge of anatomy, physiology, because all the games in sport involve multiple joint movements. It is the whole body that has to act. So if the leg is moving in a certain direction, the arms has to move in a certain direction. The head has to be in a certain direction. The power has to be generated by certain movements. All these connections to the body and how the skill is executed, if you have some basic knowledge of anatomy and physiology, it will help you making your training program more fruitful, more enjoyable, more biomechanically correct, less injuries, and more fun. So definitely it will, anatomy and physiology knowledge is going to help you become a better community coach. Sports psychology is another aspect which will help a lot of community transformation. Most importantly, the spirit of sportsmanship, the spirit of support, spirit of teamwork, spirit of encouraging, or taking failure in stride. All these things play a very vital part in community coaching. Sports psychology per se, for professional people, it is a little different. When it comes to community coaching, sports psychology is more about engagement, more about involvement, more about pleasure, more about taking back, right? So if you are training an elite sports person, the sports psychology will be slightly different from how you are dealing with community coaching. Then, of course, safety and first aid plays a critical role in any emergencies. You should be able to act as a first responder to what is actually required. Then communication skill. Communication skill in coaching is very, very important, because you are giving them a dream. You are giving them an opportunity to fulfill the dream, right? So it is not only what you want your athlete or a player to do. Your job is to make him understand what his capability is, what he can dream, what he can achieve. So I can tell you are playing like a Tendulkar, you are playing like a Ganguly, but unless and until he believes in himself that he can be something like that, very hard for me to achieve. So your communication skill is not only about transferring information or transferring the right message to him, from you to him. He himself must realize that he is capable of achieving something like that. So this is very crucial. You start slowly engaging in a proper transfer of knowledge, transfer of information, showing him the dream, showing him the path, being with him all along. So the job of a coach here, as an example, I would say, it is like a torchlight, right? A torchlight will only light up the path in front. Okay, so it is complete darkness. It gives you exactly the path that is required for you to take the next step. right? So the torch itself doesn't light the entire way for the athlete to reach the destination. It will light up what is necessary. Once you go to that point, the light is extended further, and so on and so forth. It gives you a beautiful path for you to reach the destination. So as community coaches, if you can serve as a torchlight, showing the way, making the athlete go the distance, experiencing everything along, it would be a great job that you have done as a community coach. The principles of motor learning, which is involving specificity, transfer, feedback, all these things are part of the motor learning. And if you are able to understand it, you will be able to make your training, make your drills, make the skill learning simple to complex, making from the shadow to stationary to movement to tougher situations. There is a progression. So all these motor learning principles, once you understand, that can be implemented in your training programs. Some principles and methods of training also, the overload, rest, the fit principles, all these are principles are there that will in turn take the whole class. So you can go through those training principles, you can incorporate in the training programs and make your training more meaningful, more scientific, and more purposeful. Yeah, now coming to coaching style, which is a very interesting and debatable topic. Yeah, so we can say usually coaches have their own personalities. As such, coaches are also human beings, right? हम लोग कोई देवता नहीं है, बाकी सब मनुष्य है, वो गलती कर सकते हैं, और कोच कोई भी गलती नहीं कर सकता. He has to be always perfect. This is the kind of projection that we have. But the fact is that we coaches are also human beings. We are also bound by errors and mistakes that could happen, and we have our own personalities. My growth is in one way. Some other coach has been brought up in a different way. I have brought up in Pondicherry. Some other coach is brought up in Punjab. Some coach is brought in West Bengal. So everybody have their own unique personalities in growing up. But then, how is the essence of coaching connected to it? So basically, there are three ways which have been suggested as a functioning for a coach. So they can be of a cooperative style, command style, and submissive style. So what is a command style? That is, I think it strikes everybody. Command style is like a army commander. Like, no, there are no two ways. The player can only say yes, sir. No other option is encouraged. So it is like whatever the coach says, that has to be executed at all costs. Okay. Then we have the style of cooperative style, where is much relevant today. The player is also having good knowledge. He is also updating himself from different sources, and he wants to find a reason. That day, people used to follow whatever the coach says. Today, the player is that he wants to know why he is doing something. If you are able to explain why it is necessary for the player to train in a certain way, he is able to put more effort. He is able to put meaningful effort. So this becomes a kind of a cooperation or association. See, this is what you do, this is why you do, this is what will happen when you do this like this. So this is a cooperative kind of coaching. Another thing, the third type is the submissive type of coaching, where you let the player decide. You give a problem to the player decides how to deal with it, and based on that, the training is imparted. So the coach is playing a more submissive role. Whatever the player feels comfortable, the coach lets him do it, right? So these are the three types of coaching style that is prevalent today, but very difficult to brand that this coach cooperative style, this coach command style, this coach submissive style. I would say that a coach is a combination of all three, and in different situations, each type of coaching, it flowers in the coach. Sometimes cooperative style is required. Sometimes even submissive style has to be done, so that our result is ultimately coach wants results. Coach wants the change. So whichever way is will give him the result, he can allow that type of style to dominate. So this would be a good strategy to follow. No need to brand ourselves as we are this type of coach. Rather, we be open to all three types, and whichever situation is required, we highlight that aspect. Then we move on to the process of coaching. We go on to the process, how this coaching process is materializing. Remember earlier slides I had told you, the Harek session mein we have to have some kind of a feedback or a comfort level. Kya perform kiya player ne, wo jankari hame chahiye. Each and every session we try to get a feedback, right? So this feedback is what is reflected on the performances in the match or in the training or in any kind of a competition. So our training methods are going to be based on what the player is reflecting. So when I have a good data of what the player has done in the match, उसने match में कहाँ पे गलती किया, कहाँ पे अच्छा किया, training में किस में comfortable था, किस में not comfortable था, क्या training उसको psychologically affect किया, कौन सा ट्रेनिंग में वो अपने आप को कॉन्फिडेंट समझा. सो इफ वी आर एबल टू असेस इवन न्यूट्रिशन, इवन फूड, समझो अभी सपोज यूजुअली इंटर यूनिवर्सिटी कॉम्पिटिशंस वी हैव दिस एक्सपीरियंस, players from Tamil Nadu or Pondicherry South, they go to north in the month of December, January, when it is not temperature is 1-2 degrees, and on top of that, because of the cold itself, they are struggling. Another thing is they are getting only chapatis to eat. Okay, so all this is going to play, even though nutrition wise both may not be same. It is just the habit, right? When I don't get idli, it affects me mentally, right? So these are all possibilities which can practically affect us. Similar thing happens, somebody from north comes to south, he is exposed to a completely different system here. So how a coach can prepare the athlete for these kind of eventualities, you can't help it, right? So these changes are a part of the culture. So if a coach is able to prepare his athlete for it, athlete will not give importance to it. He will be thinking only of performance. He will not be thinking of chapati or idlis. Okay, so this periodic analysis, what is going on, what is to be done, what is giving him comfort level, what is giving him problems, all these assessment has to be constantly done by the coach. Okay, today this process is also made much more in a digital format. This is something called performance analysis and video analysis, biomechanical analysis. All these things help the player to get better and better, but these things apply to the elite and the high level sports person are very much using this as their regular activities. But for community coaches, you can just add the fun value of it. Maybe just take a video in your mobile phone and show him, see, this is what you have done. So when you see yourself in the video, your performance in the video, that gives a lot of pleasure. I'm sure everybody is very much looking forward to see their own, playing, I'm hitting 4 runs, I'm hitting 6 runs. It can be his own style, but hitting a 4 or 6 gives the pleasure. So this analysis you can see, yaar, kya mast chhakka mara hai. You show him the video, he'll be very happy. So these kind of methods which will encourage your trainees, your players, the public, the stakeholders to come to the ground, exert themselves, get physically active, all those things becomes very important for the success of a community coaching program. So it can be your own method, your own techniques, your own analysis systems, but do analysis periodically, do analysis regularly. It will pay rich dividends to you. Right? Yeah, then this is the end product. When you are doing a proper analysis, your focus will be on improvement. ये देखो आपने कैसे किया, इसको ऐसे करोगे तो और अच्छा रहेगा. आपका हाथ थोड़ा ऊपर रहेगा और अच्छा रहेगा. आप थोड़ा जंप करके ये स्मैश करेंगे तो और अच्छा रहेगा. So these kind of positive feedbacks, right? When you give, he realizes and he tries to execute it. They say, there is a saying, one image is equal to 1,000 words. Right? So the olden days, the coach used to explain the whole scenario like a movie, like a commentary to the player. So that task has become very easy with technology now. आप एक photograph लेंगे, आप एक mobile में video लेंगे, उसको खुद देख लेंगे. In fact, he himself can take. Today, technology has come that he can do some drills or exercise, keeping the phone. वो अकेला बंदा कर सकता है कि उसका पोजीशंस कैसा है, उसका टेक्निक कैसा है, सब कर सकते. So when technology is available, be open to it, make use of technology to make a difference. It is easy, and if you focus only on improvement, the athlete also will see purpose in coming again and again to you, and thereby he will encourage more and more people to come to the ground, and then we can incorporate the social change that that community coaching envisages. Yeah. Yeah, this is also again a push for gaining the positive impact. What are all required by the coach to execute his community coaching program properly? Needs of the community. Here मैं पहले भी बोला था कि जो community का चाहत है, what is required by the community, we have to have a planning for it. So even though we are not strong, we can arrange for somebody who can deliver the job for us and see that the community coaching program succeeds in that community. Planning and preparation as important for each and every session. As coaches, we ourselves should be dressed appropriately, and that is also an important part of our personality and our projection, our energy, right? And how we carry ourselves in front of the community, in front of children, in front of middle-aged people, in front of professionals, in front of senior people. All these things are of utmost importance. What is the image that we convey and what they look in us, like consistency, truthfulness, honesty, setting example, leadership, decision making, all these things becomes a critical part. Constant encouragement, being fair and not judgmental. Judgmental in the sense we have preconceived notion. ये ऐसा ही है, ये नहीं करेगा, वो नहीं करेगा, he cannot do it, he is the worst player. So these kind of judgments, even before the player is performing, even before doing, we tend to do it. ये मैच हार के आएगा. We say that, like we go with the team, वो कुछ नहीं करेगा यार, वो कुछ नहीं कर सकता. We make this judgment even before the person had a chance to perform, right? So these things can send negative waves. So always try to be positive. Whatever they do, see किसी को Olympic medal या world champion बनाना हम coach cannot decide. Coach can work on the process. The result is up to his fate. Result is up to nobody's power. Result, if it has to happen, it will happen. So every process, every step that your player, your athlete takes, please encourage, so that the positive vibes are always there in him. He also has a positive outlook in the future. Ensure that all participants have something to take back, helps overcome failures and kindles the sportsman spirit. All these forms very critical element of community coaching. Remember, community coaching is something where you are, through sport, you want to make a social change in the community. For high performance sports person are a part of this community, you can't say both are separate. Even if it is a top level sports person, community becomes a valuable role where he has to play or he has to give back. And when more people in the community are engaged in being physically active or playing some sport, the social change, the positive change that the community envisages will have big success. Okay. Yeah, so this at the grassroots level, as a community coach, this is our main point of focus, where we are not being a person for somebody to leave sports. We want at the base, at the grassroots level, more and more people participate in sports. Okay, so it might be cricket, it might be football, it might be volleyball, it might be kho-kho, kabaddi, anything. More and more people have to participate. I'm told that about 60% of Indian population is youth, right? And vast crores and crores of children are there who are studying in school. So where there is shortage for us, to involve in one or two particular sports. We have enough players to represent all the sports in the world. Only thing is we have not reached out to them. हम लोग वहां तक नहीं पहुंचे. हम लोग right type of encouragement. Even if one or two people, I love to play cricket. I am able to bring one or two people towards cricket. Well and good. I have done my job. So this way, instead of what do you say, instead of bringing more and more people into different sports, different way to bring in people to engage in physical activity, whatever sport it may be, that should be the target of a coach at the grassroots level, right? So you can always recommend, if you are not a coach of a particular sport which a student is interested in, you can always say there is a coach who is dealing with it there. Kindly go and join with him. Okay, so if the player who comes to you is not interested, say for example somebody interested in football to come, a football player is coming to me when I'm doing cricket, it doesn't make sense when I say, hey, cricket khelo to nahi to jao. No, it doesn't make sense. So I would rather say that football coaching, football such and such a person is that, take the contact number and contact him. That is the least you can do. So this kind of a healthy, positive attitude we should have at the grassroots level, so that more people are into the ground, more people are taking up the sport. One, two, ek do karke hum badayenge, to bhi we will be able to do lot of wonders when the entire group of people playing at the base level is put together. Some important do's and don'ts for children, especially children as coaches, what we have to focus on. Let us first look at the don't side. See, focusing on child's weakness, right? So we as coaches can't label all the players with one character or one level. Different students are there. They have different learning capacities, different body makeup, different mindset. Even in a class, if you see, we have a class of 50, 60 students. The teacher expresses the same words, same notes to the entire class. Not all the 60 get first rank, or not all the 60 fail, right? So there is always somebody who learns better, he learns slowly, repeats more time. So all these things applies to sports field also. So when we are teaching, maybe there is a child who has not picked up quickly. So there's no need for us to say that you can't do it or be negative towards it. Rather, give more opportunities for a child to learn so that it can overcome and get closer to the top level. Don't yell at the child. Yell at the child means shout and scream. Jada आवाज से मत बोलना. You can convey the message even softly. So be patient yourself to see the change. We get angry because of our own expectations, right? The child is probably trying its best, but हम लोग सोचते हैं कि मैंने एक बार बोला तो सुन लेना चाहिए. The child has to understand. Once only, if I tell once also, the child should understand. So we have this kind of expectations. So we give value to individual differences. Allow the child to grow, allow the child to develop at its own pace. We will also be happy, the child also will be happy. Criticism or losing our cool, be patient, okay? So they will develop on their own go. To get promoted from first standard to second standard, it takes 1 year. From second to third, it takes 2 years. So a sportsman comes to you, you can't become a world champion, or you cannot make him a world champion overnight. So everything, there is going to be a process, stage by stage, step by step, you are supposed to do. So allow that process to happen, be patient, and keep focusing on improvement and positivity. Don't blame the child for making mistake. Constantly tell the child what to do. So we give some instruction, allow the child to think. Every 1 second, we keep on giving instructions, it is not going to work. Copy what other coaches do. You apply your thought process into the coaching programs, and not simply copy what World Cup coach is doing this, so let me also do this. So your students are unique, your players are unique, your community demands are unique. So you have to go by what the community needs. On the positive aspect of what you have to do, listen. There might be some deep grievances or something that has happened in the child's child's day. Morning he might have he would have had some kind of an upset. Somebody, he might have had some kind of a rough experience somewhere, and that is probably reflecting on his training. So maybe if there is a problem, or he may not have had food, not lunch, he had not had anything. So when you listen to him, he will open up, and you will know if there is some other reason for the child for not behaving the way you want him to be. Teaching transferable skills, so skills that you can effectively make him learn. So you can you have to teach the skills he is capable of. You can't teach a very advanced or sophisticated skill to somebody who is not reached up that level. One example I myself can give: in one training we used to have throwdowns, something in cricket we call it throwdowns. In throwdowns we have to we are specifically targeting a spot where the ball is pitched and the player plays a specific drive, say for example cover drive. He keeps on executing the cover drive for the ball that is fed. So what happened, this player, he's playing cover drive, missing the ball. He's playing cover drive, missing the ball. The coach is telling, see the ball and play, see the ball and play. Why are you not watching the ball? Be fast, be fast. But the point is not the player. The player is playing to his capacity. Simple step of slowing down the speed of the ball, he would have made the connection. But the coach, he was only feeding at a constant speed, his best speed, which was not, the player was not up to the task to face it. So if coaching has to be purposeful, he has to make the player play. You feed him 10 balls, he gets beaten. That is not coaching. You feed him 10 balls, he's able to play 9 balls, then that is coaching. You have to understand this and try to make adjustment. A simple example which I gave from cricket. So when we are teaching transferable skills, teach the skills that he is able to perform, he is able to do, he is able to gain from. It is not a point where you have to say, देखो मैं coach हूँ, मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ. It is not to expect that. You should understand what the player is capable of. वो क्या कर सकता है, वो समझ के उसके हिसाब से आपको खिलाना और सिखाना चाहिए. Respect the players, respect everybody who is coming to the ground, make sessions fun and enjoyable. Kuch recreation game, kuch lead up game, kuch jokes, हंस लिया करो, be smiling, have a smile से गुस्सा करे, वो commander in chief जैसा मत जाइए, थोड़ा हंसिए, have a very cheerful personality. Praise efforts, जो भी वो करता है उसको encourage करो, positive point out करो, right? And there is a saying for this also: when you praise somebody, you have to praise them in public. When people are around, you praise them. When you speak of somebody's weakness, speak in person, alone. अकेले उसको उसकी weakness बताइए. So this is one saying which we used to get a lot of advice from. When you criticize, criticize alone. When you praise, praise in public. Right? So this could have a very good effect on the mindset of your players and trainees. Understand your kids, understand your players, give time to them, talk to them. You yourself be a role model. आप बोलो कि उसको 2 बजे सब पहुंचाना और आप 2:30 बजे जा रहे हो, right? So this type of things, punctuality is a very big factor in the life of coach. So simple things where we can be as a role model, we have to establish it, right? So we have to be very consistent, be fair. And ask questions, make it interesting. उसको भी पूछने का मौका दो, आप भी क्वेश्चन पूछो कि क्या हो रहा है, कैसा चल रहा है, आज क्या हुआ. Make that inquiry. Only if you inquire, only if you get involved, you will get the result. उससे आपको कुछ जानकारी मिलेगा, right? अच्छा, तो वी आर ऑलमोस्ट एट द कंक्लूडिंग स्टेज. बहुत सारे चीज है जो कोच को संभालना चाहिए, करना चाहिए. इफ यू से देयर आर 1000 responsibilities to 10 or 50 good things that can happen to a coach. But क्या हुआ कि ये सब चीज मिला के एक साथ क्वालिटी जो कोच को चाहिए. The video has been taken, so we would like to play the video for you. Just ये 7 जो important qualities है एक कोच का. टेक्स्ट आएगा, वीडियो में टेक्स्ट आएगा, 2 वीडियो इज देयर, म्यूजिक इज देयर, बट यू फोकस ऑन द टेक्स्ट एंड वी विल समराइज इट आफ्टर द वीडियो. अभी आप थोड़ा वीडियो देखिए. ओके सो आप वीडियो आपने देखा होगा, तो उसमें जो टेक्स्ट आए थे, सो दैट हैज बीन समराइज्ड हियर, लाइक द सेइंग गोस, लाइक ना, अ गुड कोच कैन चेंज द गेम. जो अच्छा कोच है तो ही कैन चेंज द कॉम्प्लेक्शन ऑफ द गेम, रिजल्ट ऑफ द गेम. बट व्हाट अ ग्रेट कोच वांट्स इज change in life, किसी की जिंदगी बदल दे. So that should be the goal of a great coach. And जो 7 characteristics है, what makes a great coach, they are not bossy, they are not commanding, right? They grow with the player, they are also learning from the players, the player are also learning from them. So it is more a kind of a cooperative relationship that we discussed. And they don't rely on the past performance, they look ahead, they look at the future. Every match, every performance, every game, every program, even at the community level, every program is a new program. They want to maintain the standard. No point of time they want the standard to go down, even in terms of organization, even in terms of coaching, even in terms of enjoying and having fun from the game. They love struggles and challenges. And it is a question which will be in everybody's mind कि कैसे हो सकता है ये स्कूल का प्रिंसिपल is not giving permission, in school there is no ground, coaching facility is not there, equipment is not there, huge politics, there is no path for me to grow. All these are complaints that are prevalent everywhere. Even if a person is India's coach, he has a problem. Even if the person is at the grassroots level, he has a problem. So we have to learn to deal with these kind of struggles. We may not be able to deal everything together, but we can deal with it one by one. Maybe first month one problem will be solved, the second month another problem will be solved. Maybe over 3-4 years time, all the 5 problems which we were complaining about will no longer be there. So everything takes a process. So if we start from our side, हमारे अंदर से एक-एक प्रॉब्लम को धीरे-धीरे से सॉल्व करने की कोशिश करें, हो सकता है 1 महीने 2 महीने में वो प्रॉब्लम ना रहे. हम देखते ही देखते 5-6 साल में जो हमें बड़ा प्रॉब्लम लगता था वो प्रॉब्लम है ही नहीं. ऐसा हो सकता है. तो the changes has to come from within, and the community coaching system is the best way to get सपोर्ट. अगर पेरेंट्स आपको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, अगर लोकल अथॉरिटीज आपको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, अगर स्कूल आपको सपोर्ट कर रहा है, तो देखो कितना आसान हो जाएगा आपको प्रोग्रेस करना. सो टेक द लव एंड चैलेंजेस एट द राइट स्पिरिट नाउ एंड देन मूव ऑन. They are fearless and they love trying new ideas. Experiment करने नहीं डरते हैं. वो new ideas play करते हैं. Trading methods, right? कुछ player कुछ suggest करता है तो player का भी सुनते हैं, उसको भी execute करके देखते हैं. कुछ plan, कुछ strategies भी try करते हैं. They keep a good and close relationship. जैसे कि आपने वीडियो में देखा, they participate even on the court and off the court. Even on the court and off the court, they keep relationships. They maintain relationships. तो वो बहुत जरूरी है कि आपके players और players के family के साथ आप थोड़ा link में और touch में रहें. And how they have clear vision about the goal. उनका जो सपना है और जो player का सपना है, उसको साकार करने में उनका vision very clear है. वो they keep moving in the direction as hard and as strongly as they can. And they are very honest and truthful to their actions. जो आज बोलते हैं वही करते हैं और जो करते हैं वही बोलते हैं. ये कोई मूवी का डायलॉग है मुझे पता है, पर that applies to a coach. You be honest, be consistent. The players have to trust you. वो बोलेंगे तो कोच साहब ने ये बोला है तो करेंगे, तो that thing has to be there. So as a coach, you envisage, you strive to get this kind of consistency so that the people will trust you and the society also will look at your value in a more positive manner. And briefly to summarize, the knowledge as a coach, as a community coach, develop right knowledge and skill sets, right attitude in handling players age wise, बच्चे को, middle age को, senior citizen को, how you are going to deal with it, have a proper system. Performers रहेंगे, non performers रहेंगे, पर्सनालिटीज रहेंगे, सबको अलग अलग तरीके से आपको हैंडल करने पड़ेगा. Try not to be equal but be fair, right? So if you are equal, fantastic, but may not always work, but you can be fair. Develop the right traits. अपने आप को भी personality wise change कीजिए आप. What will make you a better person? It is a learning process for as a coach for you also. Develop that spirit, continuously improve self and the sport. It should be a mutual partnership. आप प्लेयर से बेनिफिट हो रहे हैं, सोसाइटी से बेनिफिट हो रहे हैं, और आपका बेनिफिट सोसाइटी और प्लेयर्स को भी मिले. फॉलो द डूस एंड डोंट्स. आजकल यू नो दिस टेक्नोलॉजी, मीडिया, lot of things are there. Corporatization of sport, professionalism in sport, media in sport, everything has come into place, and you are very easily, it is very easy to watch what the coach is doing. So you should be very careful what to do. What was there 50-20 years back, you could get away with it. Today it is not possible. So be cautious, be precautious, be very careful on all your actions. Follow the do's and don'ts. Legal side, very important. What is right, what is wrong, you have to be aware of it, and as coach take very decisive action on these aspects. Care and compassion about participants. See, whatever the player is, हमारा opponent हो, हमारा team player हो, अपना कोई भी sport से संबंध है नहीं, just a person हो, everybody are human beings and they have to be treated with respect and compassion. If we don't have compassion towards fellow human beings, we are not at all a human being ourselves. So we should remember that everybody have to be treated in the best possible manner. That will help you as a person, and it will also make other person grow to best capacity. So with this, I would like to close the presentation congratulating all of you for choosing to undergo this training program. You become a community coach, contribute to your community. Each and every person can make beautiful change over a period of time. कोई एक दिन में change ला सकता है, कोई 2 दिन में ला सकता है, पर ला सकता है जरूर. ये अपने मन में रखिए, और from our side whatever is possible we will try to do. Yeah, thank you very much. I would like to once again thank Sports Authority of India, LNIP, Trivandrum, all the team who have supported in giving me this opportunity for presenting and sharing with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Sir, stop that sharing, sir.
Sure.
Sir, presentation was so wonderful. Only few questions. Yes, every doubt is cleared, especially. Hemant asked that keeping parents away during the coaching is correct. If yes, then up to what extent?
See, it is better you keep parents away from the coaching when you are involved directly. Involve the parents when you have some right task for them. See, suppose you know in football, take for example, a parent who was a football goalkeeper, for example. So he is there in the ground. You want, since he is there, you can engage him. You can engage him to teach some goalkeeping skill. Provided you are feeling the situation is right. पैरेंट है, ऐसा जरूरी नहीं कि आप ले लो, जिससे आपका स्पोर्ट, आपका कोचिंग प्रोग्राम में बेनिफिट हो सके. दैट यू रियलाइज some parent might be a fitness freak. He would be able to engage the student in some fitness games. Make a group, 10 लोग को उनके पास भेजो, फिटनेस का करवाओ, right? So I'm not telling the parents to be engaged in your coaching. Find what is right for the parent to engage. Give him a task. A group बना के छोड़ो. He will also be happy. Students also will be happy. You will also be able to focus in your coaching program. Thank you.
Sir, one more question from Satya. What should be first approach towards the kid as a coach?
Kid, first approach should be to develop enthusiasm and love for the game. So when he comes for the first day, right? So you see to it that he has a feel of what the game is like. Let him enjoy whatever is doing. Don't start coaching or drilling him into the nuances of the game on the first day. Aisa karo, aisa karo, aisa karo. Let him have his way, whatever he wants, allow him to do. Let him have fun. वो क्रिकेट खेलने आता है, उसको बोलो किसी को बॉल फेंकने के लिए, वो 2000 बैटिंग करेगा, उसको बॉलिंग करना है, और जैसे उसको मन में ऐसे first experience, you let him feel comfortable. Let him enjoy what he is doing. You can even make him play a game. If दो टीम बना रहे हो, उसको खिला दो, एक टीम की ओर से खिला दो. Let him have some fun. Then you can slowly ignite the passion in him, make him come again and again. So that is the best way to start. Give him happy memories to take back.
Sir, can we promote community coaching during this COVID-19?
See, COVID-19 has put us in a situation where you have to depend on technology from home itself. If you can do, you can see, you can lot of fitness advertisements are coming on TV. Some I think I don't recollect the name. They are asking everybody to do workout staying at home. What is it? It is a kind of a community coaching. They are trying to make the change from home. So if you can share a WhatsApp, make a group, your community group, 10 people or your neighbors are there, you are making a WhatsApp group, sharing some video. Today I'm going to do steps up and down 1,000 times. This is a challenge. Everybody will do 1,000 steps and put the video in your WhatsApp group. Some kind of a small effect like this is possible during COVID times. Somebody has a very big terrace. You can go and practice something or do some fitness training in the terrace. Let 4 or 5 people in the neighboring terrace, they will do from their terrace, you will do from your terrace. So this kind of innovation and resourcefulness can definitely help. It is up to you how you get the community engaged, more physically engaged in a physically active lifestyle.
Jason Jacob asked that any plan is there to support this community coaching?
See, community coaching as such, I don't know, or Sai people might be knowing, but mostly nowadays, if you see, if you are able to utilize a space, if you are able to give purposeful proposals for engaging a community in a specific area, people are more than happy to encourage. Now, people are not there to take responsibility and run the show. People are thinking, why should I do? Why should he do? So it is more a problem like that. If somebody says that, let me do this in this ground, let me engage purposefully, give a proposal, and if the person is ready to take the responsibility, I am sure a lot of things will work out. I see in Dubai, there are school grounds are there. School grounds are during Thursday, Friday holidays. These school grounds are leased out to people who conduct recreation games during that time. So they ensure that the facility is utilized when the school is not using them, as well as it generates revenue. Say now, for example, there is a neighborhood school ground is there. You can go and propose so when the school is not in functioning, that is a morning, say 6 to 8 o'clock or 7 to 8, I would like to take an aerobic class, a gymnastics class. The school will get 2,000, 3,000 rupees every month by doing that class over there. You think the school is going to tell no? They might be very happy because some kind of revenue is accruing. You can even conduct some games. Saturday, Sundays, you conduct community games. Right? The local people will be engaged. They will know about the school. The school will know about the community. So everything will work in some kind of a partnership. It may not be as easy as I say, but you can definitely take a step. आज नहीं तो कल तो उसका सक्सेस मिलेगा, उसका कुछ तो अच्छा होगा ना सोसाइटी को.
Thank you, sir. Time is very close up by. So in this session, our respected principal sir is there. He is very kind. He will observe every session. So in case he is there, means to add add some information for this.
Okay. Yeah.
I hope. I think he is not available, sir. Now I request Sujit sir.
Yeah, just one question, sir. One question.
Yes, sir.
People keep asking. I mean, they had actually asked in your previous session also, and which actually. So there is some confusion, as in see, actually the people out here are all physical education teachers, right?
Okay.
Most of them. the question is that what is the essential difference between physical education and community coaching? I mean, very basic in the most basic term.
See, physical education teacher is primarily responsible in the school, wherever school is working. Current day, at present, we can say he is dealing only with that school students. That too, if he gets PT period. 6th standard is having PT period, he will engage the 6th standard students. 8th period is having 10th standard students, he will engage them. I would say in the school itself, physical education teacher should be responsible for physical activities, all the staff, not only the students. So that is one part. As of now, we see the physical education teacher is engaged only with the school activities. But in community coaching, the school's infrastructure may be used, but it is not specific to the school students alone. It applies to the entire community of people who are living close by. It could be students, it could be parents, it could be the school teachers, it could be the senior citizens living in the community. So as a community coach, you are reaching out to the entire section of people. Not only that, in school, you might teach the students only a game of your choice. Okay, बच्चे आज cricket खेलो, बच्चे आज volleyball खेलो. As a teacher, you might be giving the suggestions. But when it comes to community coaching, if the group of people want to play badminton, you have to see that something in badminton they are able to do. So you try to, in community coaching, it works other ways. What the community needs, you are going to deliver. What the community likes to show interest in, you have to deliver. So as coach, you are not only teaching the game which the community likes, you are also being a coordinator in achieving what the community aims to achieve. But in school, as a teacher, your goal is very much restricted. You are dealing only with the school students, that too during the PT period for whichever class is allotted to you. That itself, I feel, should be expanded. The physical education teacher should be in charge of health of the entire school, students and the staff. Because nobody cares for the staff. Everybody wants results, but nobody cares for the teacher. Physical education teacher is one person who can contribute to the good health of the entire school and also the community if he is willing.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, so that is what. So one more thing which I just wanted to add. I think this is so what you are saying is very relevant, and we had session on whole school approach to fitness where we are talking about fitness of other trainers also. So one more question, I think when Mr. Dar was also talking about in the second session was basically the role of physical education teacher in identification of talent, which the community coach is going to use. So how do you see the role of a physical education teacher in from the point of view of supporting community coaching?
See, the physical education teacher, if he is closely associated with the community, he will certainly be able to gauge what the community is good at. This area, they are very good in sprints. This area, they are very good explosive power is that they can do that. This area, people are very tall. Maybe they can become good volleyball players or basketball players. See, now the professional leagues have taken up in India, IPL, Kabaddi and all that. How talented people from villages are able to engage with the team. There are talent scouts. Before, people had to come to the national association, state association, attend selection, then only they will be noticed. Today it has become the other way. The IPL teams are going all over India, finding people. Like that, when the community coach also is able to engage with the community, he will be able to identify talent. Hidden talent, which otherwise will never come. He would not participate in the inter-school competition. But the physical education teacher in community coaching, he will be able to pull through to the community coach. Thereby, he will go to the school. So, in order to scout for hidden talent, community coach can deliver because his association with the community is much more stronger. So in identifying hidden talent with the community, maybe see, Northeast people are very good in archery. By default, we find more people from Northeast coming from archery coming from Northeast. Kerala, Goa, Bengal, football. Why other states are not contributing? So that is the culture, that is the happening there. So it is unique to that place. So if a community coach is able to get inside what is good in the community, if he is able to identify what is good at the community, he can project it at the right forum and see that all talents are brought to the fore. This can be a very critical factor in success of this program.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. I think it has been an excellent session. People,
Thank you.
I think just about everything has been explained in such a simple way, because today was an important day where we have switched over from physical education track to community coaching track. So on today is day one of community coaching. So this was a very important session in terms of explaining to them the connection between a PE teacher and a community coaching program, because sometimes there is a so that part is not very clear. So so today is a foundation. So we'll basically take it forward from today to the next 6 or 7 sessions. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you so very much. It was a pleasure indeed. I would like to thank all of you for encouraging me and giving me all the support. Thank you, participants.
Sanjeev, sir.
Now, concluding part. So your opinions were so nice and enlightening one. I definitely, from my side also, I can promise that all the participants will carry a dense knowledge today. So
thank you.
It's a wonderful, enlightening session, sir. Participant, sir is an enlightened cricket coach also, as well as a physical educational professional in Pondicherry University. And sir, morning you have bought some colors, but you added some more colors for this session, as well as not only colors, you have added one more feather for this to fly. On behalf of Ministry Youth Affairs and Sports, Hello India, and on behalf of our respected principals, Dr. G. Kishore sir, I thank you for your valuable presence, sir.
Thank you very much. Always happy to be of service. Anytime you can contact me, I will be ready to help. Thank you so very much.
Sir,
thank you so much, sir.
Sujit,
Namaste, sir.
Sujit, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, today's evening, can you address this one?
Yeah. So this is to all the participants. So today, I think, so all of you should come back, because today we have an Olympian amongst us. She's the first Moroccan to take part in Olympic Games in 1972. So it's actually a very proud feeling for all of us that in our physical education program, you are going to meet an Olympian. So, I mean, to me personally, I mean, it's such a great thing that an Olympian is going to be there. So this is Dr. Fatima. She will be there, and she's going to talk about Moroccan elite athletes. So this is at 5 o'clock. Please join by 4:30. The link is the same, schoolfitness.calendar.gov.in/tot.asp. Click on international session. So you will be transported into this. Thank you so much. See you then.
Thank you, sir. Rammohan sir, thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste, sir. Namaste.
Sujit sir, thank you.
Sir, namaste. I'm holding phone on my one hand, so I can't use both the things. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ek taraf se. Thank you so much, sir.